Welcome back to the Qrivia podcast. I'm Harley, and my star, as always, is...
It's me, Emily.
Correct. 1 point. And we've just recently watched probably the best movie of the year. Of all the movies I've watched this year, it was definitely the best. Wake up, dead man!
Why did that sound like the Joker?
I'm not going to do the voice this early into the recording and just break my voice.
You already did. Knives Out, number 3.
A wake up, dead man story.
Although they are trying to change that out from Knives Out mysteries to Benoit cases or something like that.
Yeah, Netflix makes the best decisions, and instead of doing the obvious thing, they were like, oh, what if we call it Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery?
Yeah, they'd already purchased the rights for at least 2 others at that point. They probably should have put something in play.
Especially because this one was just called Wake Up, Dead Man everywhere I've seen it. Like, I haven't really seen it referred to as a Knives Out mystery.
It is on some of the posters.
That makes sense. So we'll give a brief summary of our non-spoilery thoughts before we get into all the spoilery details of this incredibly spoilerific movie. So Em, vibes check on Knives Out 3 Tokyo Drift.
5 out of 5, and I hate how it punks me just like Agatha Christie novels do. How even if I get a little bit, I am then like Donkey Kong smashed to the floor with the actual solution.
I think the lesson is never try.
Disagree.
Fair. I also give it a 5 out of 5, and I actually ended up seeing it again because a week later, Max was like, oh, Harley, you like detective movies. Have you seen Wake Up, Knives Out, Dead Man 3? Come and see it with me. I'm like, yes, I have. And he's like, oh, wow, you're on top of things. I'm not on top of things. Emily booked the tickets, and I was like, yeah. And then I'm like, yeah, all right, I'll see it again.
Would have been funny if you had gone and you hadn't told him you'd already seen it.
Just
written a note 5 minutes in with the solution and handed it to him.
That would have been very funny.
So you're not thinking this through enough. You need to do it for the memes.
The problem is you can't get Max like that because then he's like, oh, a game. I like games. I like winning games.
He doesn't need to know it was a game.
He thinks everything's a game.
Big golden retriever energy.
He does, but he keeps falling into the same traps, but that's a whole other story. I gave this movie 5 out of 5 the first time I seen it, and the second time I'd seen it, I'll give it a 5 out of 5 again. Yeah, this movie rocks. What are we doing? Why can't every movie be this good?
My one critique is that things take too long to make nowadays. If I can get 24 episodes of NCIS in a year, I can get a Knives Out mystery every 2 years. And so COVID between the first and the second, and then writer's strike between the second and the third. So maybe, and I mean, he does need to come up with another mystery, but I'm just saying that there's a lot of reasons why I should get one of these every 2 years.
It's very interesting to think about because, firstly, he is doing the classics of the genres. This being a locked room mystery, that's not a spoiler. The second one being Twins, that is a spoiler. And the first one just being Murder Mansion.
Should probably put the spoilers before saying the spoilers.
I should, but if you're listening to a podcast about Knives Out 3 when you haven't watched Knives Out 2, I want you to leave a comment and tell me what your life story is because I think you're a fascinating individual. And then I lost my train of thought.
There are a lot of tropes.
Oh,
but also like a lot of ingenuity.
Tropes aren't a good or a bad thing. Tropes are a tool. A lot of people online often heck that up. So my point there being he's going through a lot of the classic options. So they shouldn't take long to write just because they're incredibly intricate clockwork masterpieces of character, plot, and choice. Like, really, you should be able to crank one of these out every year.
Okay, you do it and then come back.
I'm working on it, kind of. I did have an idea for a Knives Out style movie, but I have too many ideas. And then secondly, it's been 3 years between each movie, which that's kind of how long movies sort of take to make if you want them to be good, which is frustrating because I do want a lot of these. But it's very funny, especially in the context of, have you heard of Severance at all?
Yes.
Very popular TV show. 12 episodes in each season, I think, maybe less or fewer. And it took 4 years to make a second season.
Just kind of sounds like BBC Sherlock Holmes.
And when you're putting up BBC Sherlock sort of numbers, you really need to rethink your life.
But 5 out of 5.
So we'll get into our spoiler section, but I also want to give a heads up that we will probably be spoiling The Murder of Roger Ackroyd by Agatha Christie. And would you say that in the hefty halls of the many literary classics that Agatha Christie just casually dropped on us, Murder of Roger Ackroyd's near the top of that list?
Probably it's top 5 of my favourite books, and it's the only book that I've ever wanted to defenestrate.
Interesting.
Because you have read fairly much every single entry into TV Tropes, the website, correct?
Yes. There was a Saturday a long time ago where TV Tropes, myself, and tabbed browsing went on a bit of an adventure.
Yeah, so you've gone through most of that. I read The Murder of Roger Ackroyd having not known the solution to it, but a lot earlier in my life, where I also had not been exposed to very many tropes or, anything of that
Media
kind.
literacy discussions.
So neither had it been spoiled for me, nor did I have the nous to put 1 and 1 together to make the 2 in that. So when I get to the solve, which is here's the big spoilers and also relevant to Wake Up Dead Man, is the doctor did it. It was a locked room. It was an unreliable narrator, and Poirot suggests the guy take care of business himself so the courts don't have to.
I like how every now and then Poirot's just like, hey, I'm a G. This is how it's going to go down, champ.
Poirot just puts into some divine intervention, and sometimes it's helping someone find a nice boyfriend. Sometimes it's like, hey, neck yourself so we don't have to put this through a court of law.
Take all the drugs. I hate testifying and I hate paperwork more.
I think he said, think of your sister. Like, don't put her through the court process. Poirot's a bit of a loose cannon.
Every time I read Agatha Christie, or both times, I go through the same process of thinking, wow, this feels a little bit familiar. Oh, wait, I've seen or heard of something that's been referenced or inspired by this. Tick, tick, tick. Oh, wait, Agatha Christie invented this.
Yeah.
So she definitely invented unreliable narrator. And the reason we need to mention The Murder of Roger Ackroyd, do you know how early I suspected the priest of being the killer in this?
Well, so I think we can both say because he is telling the story, we find out some way into this. Benoit had actually asked him to write it down. Both of us had suspected an unreliable narrator, and then you see as part of the book club that it's not just the Hollow Man at the tippity top.
Nope.
Murder of Roger Ackroyd is listed there. And then this is where the movie comes and dunks on us. It goes, oh, good job, buddy. You got it right. He is an unreliable narrator. It has nothing to do with the murder.
So, yes, the second I see Benoit Blanc reading a letter, I'm like, yes, whoever wrote this letter is absolutely the killer. And then Judd says a little while later, look, it's really easy to be honest when you just don't say the dishonest part out loud. I'm like, oh, yes, you and I are in the same wavelength, movie. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
I'll admit my hubris got to the point that I was like, how could anyone not get this? Then Ryan Johnson came for me.
And then seeing The Murder of Roger Ackroyd on that list was just...
What are we going to do with the rest of the runtime, boys?
Amazing.
And then it's this very minor thing that, yes, a flask.
So my sin is pride.
I think I'm just a bit dumb.
You're not dumb. We're just instruments in Ryan Johnson's Grand Symphony Orchestra.
But so obviously we get that little portion right. He was to some degree an unreliable narrator, but it is only one tiny bit. I don't know. I think the lesson that I'm learning, and I mean maybe it will take a fourth to prove a pattern, is if Benoit chooses you as his little buddy cop movie dude, you can't be guilty.
Yeah, the detective chooses the suspect, I guess.
Mm.
In that sense, what a absolutely, if he's not already starred, I'm not really familiar with his game, but star-making performance by Josh O'Connor as Judd Duplessis.
Yeah, because he's not been in anything big. I mean, I don't think Challenger's really got on anyone's radar.
Yeah, I don't know if sexy tennis movies are really that popular these days.
Okay, I'm doing that like pose just pointing to Zendaya.
Yeah, no.
Just that.
Challenges did make it to a bunch of year-end lists that I'm like, yeah, I should check Challenges out. And then I forgot about it because life is hard.
Yeah, quite often I'll be like, I should go see that movie. And then I don't. I didn't do that with Wake Up Dead Man. I booked tickets.
Yeah, I appreciate you being right on that. I wanted to see the remake of I Know What She Did Last Summer because I really liked the original. And then I got horrendously sick that fortnight. Oopsie.
It do be like that. But so we got through, yes, there is an unreliable narrator, and then the story just kind of kept happening.
It didn't stop, and it didn't stop coming, and it don't stop coming.
So the best I got was snippets. So as we go through and it's revealed that, you know, Samson's in the casket, I knew something was going on there because the casket broke apart and I was like, Samson helped build that. I got that.
I did also think the first time I saw Samson, I'm like, oh, what's Monsignor Wicks doing? Oh, wait, they're different people. These people look a lot alike. That's weird.
There you go. I knew as soon as they were talking about the fortune that it was in the tomb. Like, that was the easiest one too. And I mean, it was never about that, so we never had to
worry about it too much.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that.
I just kind of feel like it was like, oh, okay, if you figured it out, good for you, but if you didn't, no.
Oh my God, I just realised something right now.
Oh no, what do we got?
You know who is the most unreliable narrator in this entire thing?
Probably Benoit.
No, Martha, because she explains how Prentice died, but just carefully omits all the facts around him swallowing a baseball-sized fucking diamond.
And actually, that's a very good point. I did see somewhere a hot take that was like, yeah, I kind of figured that Martha was like up to something because no way a lady like tries to maul a child that way just for some like random spooky goopy god stuff.
Just a spooky smile comment.
Yeah. No, it had to be something fairly gnarly. Like particularly because especially with Judd throughout the movie, he shines a sympathetic light on Grace. And if he's to be taken at his word, then it's fairly harsh of us to be like, yeah, why wouldn't you attack a child?
I do really like how much the movie points out and goes out of its way, especially, lawyer character, whose name I've forgotten, Vera Draven, goes out of their way to be like, no, everything sucked for Grace. I mean, yeah, she was a little bit greedy, but she lived in a shitty environment and everyone was the worst to her.
Well, and I think that's something that was especially funny to me. So that when you get the reveal of what actually happened at that meeting with Monsignor Wicks on Palm Sunday. But during that meeting, when you get the actual one, and it's like, I'm going to burn all of you to the ground. And he goes at length about, Nat Sharp, you're an alcoholic, and how could you, and you, a writer, and all this sort of thing. And he just kind of goes to Vera, and he's like, and you, I guess you exist.
You're
and
here too.
You play cello, and you've given your money away. Like, he genuinely points to and I think it might be part of the whole thing of how the women are framed in this movie. But it's just like, nah, you guys exist and I'll take you down for existing as women too.
And you two, who just so happen to be in shouting range.
It's like,
you suck too.
You got chronically ill and gave away a lot of your money in hopes of getting better, and you adopted another person's son, my son, and I don't know, cared for him? Like, come on, man.
Yeah, just the historical difference between Joss Whedon and Rian Johnson. One of them says, hey, I'm a real ally to women, and then if you want to have a sad afternoon, go read everything about Joss Whedon, compared to Rian Johnson, who doesn't make a big deal out of this whole thing, but then shows it in the work.
So in each of his movies, he certainly has something to say. So in Knives Out, you've got Marta and, contrasting her against the family, while the family is inexplicably able to say which country she comes from.
No one's saying putting kids in cages isn't bad, but they have to come to America the right way, like your family, Marta, which you're from, I
believe they say Uruguay and Paraguay and Ransom at one point says, that Brazilian nurse. They don't explicitly say where Marta is from, but her actress as well as her mother and sister's actresses are all Cuban.
Fans of the April Sun.
But they don't say for sure. And then you got Glass Onion, which is like, you know.
Yeah, the line between satire and reality, real thin on that one.
Particularly watching it again in 2025, and I think that is only going to get worse.
I mean, especially because isn't there one scene where he is just in the Steve Jobs outfit in one of the flashbacks?
Yes.
Like, but yeah, while we're wrapping up that tangent, shout out to Annie Hamilton, Grace's actress, whose entire dialogue in that movie is nothing or screaming, and you didn't have a lot to work with, but what you did great with.
She literally chewed on some scenery at one point.
Oh yeah. She has two modes, oh no, and let's effing go.
I think it's also very interesting that when you have Benoit talk about her, is that he affords her a generosity of intelligence that nobody else did.
Yes.
Because he knows that she would have looked at the Fabergé, display.
The box, yeah.
That the little Jesus got put on. And he was like, well, she would look at that and know that there was, something, and it would have had this cut, and it definitely would have been a diamond.
The Fabergé logo, I believe, is also correct if you know your Russian Cyrillics, which I really don't.
Yep, neither do I.
That's a consistent character trait of Benoit Blanc's, because he gets Nana in the first movie to spill the beans.
Mm-hmm. He actually has a conversation with her, and he also meets her where she is, because he's like, well, first of all, I apologize because your son has predeceased you, and I don't believe anyone in your family will have thought to done that or do that yet. And then he's like, all right, well, you might like to take a little while to talk. I'm just going to sit myself down, and she is forthcoming.
So I think the lesson of these movies is that meeting people where they're at, like you said, compassion and emotional intelligence are an unstoppable triumvirate.
Benoit Blanc will find you, he'll be compassionate, and he will win. Because you also see that in the second movie where he knows he's legal, like his hands are legally tied.
Yeah.
Particularly after the napkin is burnt. But, he just gives Helen everything she needs to turn this around.
Yes, and I also like that he isn't strictly... He's law and order, right and wrong, blah, 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 but he's like, more of a justice guy. So, I'm just going to let this mansion on this island burn, who cares?
But he also achieves justice, because in letting Helen loose, she is able to convince that group to testify in the same way that they testified,
Very
against
true.
her and sister. So he does achieve justice.
Now, being that this is the only casual media show where the minimum entry for the hosts is a bachelor's degree in science, chemistry, would you say in that sense that Benoit Blanc is a catalyst as he helps other people achieve justice and emotional catharsis?
Potentially.
Because Benoit Blanc doesn't change himself. The palladium remains on the plate. But he helps Martha. She does the things herself by the end of the movie. Like, she's like, hey, Walt, instead of me giving you back your money so your family can help me with your resources, Harlan gave me the money. She does that herself, but who helps her along the way? Our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I mean, Benoit Blanc.
Yes, Benoit did that. I think it's very funny then to put that against the man who wouldn't come out of the bath because of COVID, which is incredibly relatable, honestly.
Very true. So my one criticism of this movie overall...
How dare you?
...is that a lot of the supporting cast doesn't get that much to do. But I think that was even... From memory, I need to rewatch it. Slightly more of a problem in Knives Out 2 Glass Onion more than here.
I don't know. See, I think you just feel it a little bit more here, because there was literally the kid in the first one who shows up in 2 scenes, yells in the background, a couple of them, gets called a Nazi, and we go, yep, he checked the box, he showed up.
Masturbating in the bathroom.
Yeah. Like, he didn't do a lot, and I don't know. I don't know if it's that, well, this is... Andrew Scott, I demand that he does a certain amount of acting while he's on my screen.
Andrew Scott barely got out of second gear in this movie.
No, he picked up that night outside of his moat. He did stuff.
Him casually filling up his moat with his garden hose is amazing. It just, I remember it specifically because I watched the Disney version of Hamilton before I'd seen Glass Onion. So I'm like, oh, this Leslie Odom Jr. guy is going to be amazing. Oh my God, what he's going to do in this movie is going to blow our minds. Tell me, Professor, what does it all mean? Oh,
I don't know. I think it was very second act of Hamilton, notably your least favourite half.
Of the two acts of Hamilton, my less favourite.
It's like,
all the good songs are in the first half.
the payoff's in the second.
Yeah, that's how that's how movies work. You are undeniably correct.
I don't know. Anything that has Catherine Hahn in it is an insta watch for me, which has only been proved correct as an opinion since Agatha All Along came out.
I could have lived in the world of the first half hour of the first episode of Agatha All Along for 12 episodes, and I would have been happy. The show's great, love it. But if it was just Catherine Hahn is a sad detective in a town where nobody helps her, actually, yeah, this is my jam.
I will watch this.
If I have more time and slightly more security of self and house and whatever, I would love to do nothing but be the small town murder mystery YouTube guy, because I cannot believe you wait, no, you already know. Why am I explaining this to you?
Oh my God. What do I not remember?
Oh no, just that. Why am I explaining to you, my dear sister, my love for small town murder mysteries? It's like, I just love a small town mystery. Emily, hey, have you watched Gravity Falls? Oh, yeah.
And yet we come from a small town and there's never been a murder mystery there.
There were no notable deaths in Nil, mystery-wise, as far as I remember when we were there.
There's a whole heap of unsolved murders from around Nil.
Yeah, but
not in Nil.
They're going to be unsolved murders in the same way that Last Stop Larimer is an unsolved murder, where it's two people didn't like each other, one of them killed the other, and it's the country, so who cares?
Yeah, I don't know. Back home has never figured out how to deal with pigeons, so I think once they get that, they'll move on to something bigger fry.
Nil doesn't feel like home anymore. Aside from, our parents' house, our childhood home, which I still love and remember, but the town of Nil.
Doxed.
So tempted to draw up a code for our parents' hardware store that will not get you any discount. Oh, God. Okay, so Rian Johnson and his team are very good at making movies look real good. Did you watch any behind-the-scenes stuff for Knives Out 1?
You made me.
You may remember then that the movie was shot digitally, but they did everything they could to make the lights and things look like they were shot analog, to the point of recreating chromatic aberration around light edges and gating effects. And the fact that they've just decided to use all that prowess they possess and just absolutely flex with the light levels in this movie. My God, the way light leaves and enters a scene and everything. Oh, good God.
They go to great lengths to make it very impactful. And so one very interesting thing is, so Judd says, yeah, Jesus, show me the way through this. And Benoit enters. And the light plays on his face, both Benoit's and Judd's, as they talk about Catholicism and faith, all that lovely stuff.
What is the nature of belief?
Yeah. So that's just one time that does impact greatly.
As Demi Ajawibe put it, capital F filmmaking.
Capital F filmmaking.
The other thing that was very obvious in that it's not something people do a lot these days, and I think it inherently calls attention to itself, but it's used very sparingly but very well, is the really long zoom push-ins that are in 2 or 3 times in the movie. My brain's telling me that's a very 70s style thing, but I have exactly zero facts or evidence to back that up. And the only thing that could come to mind was the music video for Bastards of Young, which was in the mid-80s, so it could be inspired by the 70s, but really, this tangent's a dead end. But look cool, though.
But they do quite a bit in that regard. And it's all fair play, too. So we see the picture that Benoit is looking at in the bar.
Yes.
So we could have observed that there was a second wolf's head ornament. We see the pallbearers for Monsignor Wicks. Samson is not one of them.
Oh, true. Good point.
Which, considering Judd is, 9 months in, probably would have expected Samson to be there. So, I mean, it's all very fair play. Same as what he's done with previous ones, where in Glass Onion, what was Batista's character?
Batista, if he was a right wing and not a left wing guy.
The man known as Batista, when he is poisoned, as it were, with some pineapple juice. Duke, that's it. In the original play of that scene, it plays out as truth. So Miles hands him the glass. But later on, when Miles is retelling it, they've refilmed it. So it is fair play, because one is how it did happen, and then the second is how it happened in this retelling.
A guy I used to work with actually caught Miles handing him the spiked drink the first time and was like, oh, yeah, then I knew he did it. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, sometimes passing a spot check is a good thing, I guess.
He just got a nat 20 on that. And he was like, I got this one thing.
Yep.
And there would have been things in this movie as well. So, the clank of the metal. We're told about the
threads.
The threads, the fuzz on the baseball recording.
Yes, from the RF blast.
Yeah, all very fair play.
Rewatching it, I was keeping an eye out for all of that. And, yep, it's all there on the screen. The only thing that I possibly picked up on was when he's giving the big denouement at the end, the first time that Martha touches her lips, he is turned around, so he doesn't see it, but when he turns back around, she does it again.
Yep.
So I would call that, in chess terms, an inaccuracy, not a blunder. So, but the point being that it's still fair play. He does see her, lips are numb, when nearing the end of the movie.
Well, I mean, does he need to have seen it both times?
No, he doesn't.
Because there are simply going to be things that he's turned away for.
That is true. When I say inaccuracy, I would say that it might have been slightly better, fractionally, if anything, to only have her put her hands to her lips once. But again, this is such a minor, nitpicky detail.
I mean, it's Martha's only experience being poisoned.
Yeah.
And I mean,
she really needs to take a bit of, what's the Princess Bride reference?
I know what you're trying to reference, but my friend, I do not know either.
Iocane? Lidocaine is definitely not
Idocaine. Hang on. All right. Fine. I'll put some facts into the facts and chats.
Destroying me with facts and logic.
One from Princess Bride, which has been pointed out to me as Iocane.
Oh, it is Iocane.
Yeah. So it's been pointed out to me that is a massive gap in our library, considering that we've been operating for 3 years.
Oh, that we haven't done the movie.
That we haven't done Princess Bride.
Fun, very brief tangent. Have you read the book for Princess Bride?
I started it.
That's almost the correct answer. The movie is infinitely better than the book, and to the point where I can just use it as a litmus test. The one person I know who prefers the book to the movie, I'm like, I mean, she was kind of a mid-friend anyway, but...
Yeah, no, I can, to my mind, recall 2 books that I have purposely not continued with. One was Princess Bride. The other was $18 from Big W, and I'm still mad that it misrepresented itself so badly that I spent those $18 on it.
What book is that?
It's like The Secret Life of a Hit Woman or something, and, it goes... This is a real deep tangent here, but it's like... when you're a hit woman and you're trying to run a household, things collide. And then in like the first 50 pages, one of her daughters is like killed by...
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, like a vehicular manslaughter.
Vic Michaelis.
And then I wish it was Vic Michaelis. And then she like... is going intent on hunting these people and killing them. And it's nothing like, the quirky fun, thing that the blurb as well. No, I'm here being like, I didn't want to read about a child
Bloody
manslaughter,
revenge.
but here I am.
This dust jacket is promising a lot of fun and whimsy that the pages of the book are not paying off. I bought the book for Gone Girl after I'd seen the movie because I really liked the movie. And I got about halfway through and I'm like, I can't finish this. Books that I don't like, it's rare that I stop reading a book. And if I stop reading a book, it's usually about the halfway point. But what was interesting to me was that Gillian Flynn wrote both the novel and the screenplay and the script for the movie. So I don't know, maybe having a second crack at it did it, or it's just, I like the movie better.
Some things are more suited to the screen, some more suited to books.
That is true. Made me scared of Rose Byrne, I want to say, was the lead in Gone Girl, and casting Ben Affleck as a dopey husband.
Gone Girl. No, Moiraine. That's all you get, Moiraine. Because I know you have never even opened a Wheel of Time book, let alone watched any amount of the series.
No, I watched like 2 scenes. You showed me 2 scenes. Oh, Rosamund Pike. Sorry, not Rose Byrne. Neil Patrick Harris plays an absolute creep in that movie. He's very good at that. Sorry.
Yeah, one day I'll get around to watching that. I mean, he's a very good actor.
Yes, he is.
I still can't quite get on board with Dr. Horrible's.
Knew you were going to say that.
Hi, everybody. This is a grudge that's been 14 years in the making because Harley made me watch Dr. Horrible's
sing-along blog.
Yep. Every single episode of it. At a time in life where I probably didn't want to watch that.
Oof.
I do like having a look at some of my notes. So obviously I'm the weirdo who is sitting in a movie theatre with a notebook and pen. It's always a good day if I manage to not write over what I've already written there. But so they're all in the church. Poirot is jazzing up for his denouement. And I've just written they were sat because he starts talking and they all sit down.
When he starts speaking, you sit down.
Everyone just sit down and listen. One thing that's probably different from a movie that I see in theatres versus at home is I can't pause to get the unfairs.
Yes, which is what I like about theatres because I'm easily distracted.
So I afterwards had you telling me the exact length of the manuscript. So you tell me that Lee Ross's manuscript is, X amount long. And then I go, I either asked or Scott proffered this information freely that the song that blares in Benoit's car is Scrimble Shanks the Railway Cat. I had to Google that to get that right.
Some cat's nonsense.
Yeah, so you're bringing the manuscript-based knowledge. Scott's bringing the musical-based knowledge. I'm bringing the ability to write.
Some say that's the most important thing of all.
Yeah.
Benoit is such a musical tragic that he actually likes cats.
See, I kind of want to rag on cats, and the Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt is all that I know about cats. That will mean something to someone.
Yes.
Who has been seen both that and cats. But I don't know if I picked up anything pertaining to musicals in Glass Onion.
Well, he's on the Zoom call with Stephen Sondheim, right?
Yes, and Natasha Lyonne.
Formerly of Poker Face.
What do you mean, formerly?
The show got cancelled, and the rumour going around is that Rian Johnson is shopping around Poker Face to other networks, but he wants Peter Dinklage to come in and play the same character and do another 2 seasons of the same character, but played by Peter Dinklage, and it's weird.
Was Peter Dinklage in season 2?
Peter Dinklage has not been in the show at all.
But he wants him to play a pre-existing casted character?
To take over Natasha Lyonne's character. It's unclear whether...
What?
I don't think it's like a literally the same person, different actor situation.
Okay.
More of the same character, just in new situations, just like... Because Charlie Cale is an androgynous name, and just Charlie's a Peter Dinklage person now, and just doing Peter Dinklage things. Solving mysteries, calling BS, not being lied to.
Well, this has brought me so many more questions than I thought possible.
I wasn't expecting Poker Face to be renewed for season 3. Season 2 ends on either a cliffhanger or a soft reboot anyway, and I don't think season 2 was nearly as good as season 1. There's been some whisperings that Natasha Lyonne is embracing AI, whereas Rian Johnson is obviously going, no, who the hell do you think I am? And so there might have been some tensions behind the scenes, but that's purely speculation.
See, that's very interesting because, I don't know, for me, I have a very clear-cut preference. I was listening to a podcast on Spotify today, and it was an ad for something called Wix, I think, and it was like, whether or not, it wasn't whether or not you like it, it was like, whether or not you're embracing AI, and it was like very much like whether or not you'll like it, AI is coming.
You need to prop up our bubble.
But I mean, look at what happens when you just let a dude pick up a whole creative cast of actors and you get a neat thing. So none of us three from our viewing party, 4 if you count Max on the second revision.
He had no idea.
He was just there for a good time. So each of us got pieces.
Fragments. It was about the time that Judd started walking into the police station and Benoit Blanc was turning him around. And I'm like, I might be in trouble here.
I was about to bring that up because that is genuinely hilarious.
It's still funny the second time.
He's like, this man, like, he has approached the reception.
Yeah.
And, like, Benoit's is like, nope. Needed to look that up because it kind of looks like the cop shop that they pick the brother up at for the Goonies.
Possible. Josh Brolin connection.
Yes, Josh Brolin. I did not realise that was Thanos.
He's been in so much movies.
He does it well. I really hated Monsignor Wicks. Really, truly, and passionately.
Yeah. Like, he was obviously Thanos, but at the same time he was being Thanos, he was Cable in Deadpool too.
Yeah, and that's the thing that gets me, because I'm like, how did you be in both of those things? But people can just be in two
so
things.
Many movies.
Things can be two things.
So, something that was pointed out to me afterwards by, I think it might have been Demi's review or someone else's, but just the parallels between Monsignor Wicks and Trump-like figures. It's just charismatic people interested in their own power.
But also the parallel to their followers, because you have Psy, who, has failed in his own,
his ambitions.
Pursuit. I was going to write a question about which one of these is made up, and it was going to be induction stove out of his rant. And then I was informed that that's an actual... By the way, but so you have Psy who's failed in his own ambitions and then wants to raise up this person who has such polarizing views.
Obviously, his character's written to be that way, and then in the movie they mention as a cult of personality sort of thing. But mildly humorous to me is that Monsignor Wicks isn't popular on YouTube from Psy's videos. They're getting like 100, 200 views each. So you'd think there'd be some momentum there to push Psy's thing, but I think that's also coming back to these people shouldn't be rewarded. So it's more just Psy's naked ambition. Also, if anyone has naked ambition or wants to have a job in power, they shouldn't be allowed to have it.
No.
If you want to be president, you should never be allowed to be it.
But I mean, I think that's something... So sorry, just thinking about the Australian Liberal Party and so many of our... this man will be Prime Minister one day.
Christian Porter... I'm not going to say all the things he was accused and or convicted of. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I shouldn't say that on a podcast.
I'm so sorry. My brain has just gone...
That's right. I've got two things to get us back on the track. Firstly, the Australian Liberal National Party coalition being so shit gives Labor a little bit of cover because they grab so many headlines for learning the wrong lessons, being constantly stupid, and just utterly imploding that even though Labor's the better of the two... They still need to be held to account and they still need scrutiny for their decisions and processes. But when you've got some messy bees over here infighting, it really drags the national attention away from Labor policies.
Your Honour, but Australian politics in the middle of our Netflix podcast.
I was making jokes about Peter Dutton when I was doing Surprise Synopses. This is not new for me.
Well, I'm glad that you're consistently consistent.
Okay, very, very brief tangent. I went back to listen to some episodes of Surprise Synopses a couple of years ago, and there was something that someone said, and then while I was listening to it as I was driving, I made a joke. And then about a second later, me on the podcast from 3 years earlier made the same joke. I'm like, well, it's good to know that I'm still me.
See, that's why you got to give yourself a concussion by sitting down too hard so that you freshen up the jokes every couple of cycles.
Cognitive reset. The other thing I noticed doing a second viewing, we start cutting to Dr. Nat Sharp's house, which is where about the movie takes starts piling up the twist turns and stuff. He's getting a lot of missed calls from an unknown number. When I first watched the movie, I'm like, what could that possibly mean? The movie cuts directly from that to Benoit Blanc at the police station on the phone trying to get someone saying, come on, pick up. And on the original
did you
viewing,
not put that to...
I just cable car over my head.
Yeah, no, there are some things that I think we get so wrapped up in trying to solve the puzzle that, like, it's literally shoving it under our nose.
Oh, absolutely. It's the basketball elephant thing, monkey thing, gorilla thing.
Because, I mean, it's even things like we see Martha and Monsignor Wicks leave the confession box, and
Yes.
they're both flustered, and there's a particular insinuation there, except Judd has quite literally told us 3 scenes previous that he's ruffled through Jefferson's medical history, and that isn't plausible, so we know it has to be something else.
Yep.
So, and then that's sort of Chekhov's confession box going into the second half.
Do you feel safe confessing your biggest secret to that man in that box? Yes, and Judd?
And I'll do it just to prove to you that it was a mistake. So many people are going to die because of this choice.
So many people die because Prentice is a dramatic little bee, because if he...
Oh, yeah, 100%.
He's a priest, which, us being Australian, we have low opinions of priests because we've read history books about the 70s.
We live somewhat near Ballarat.
Yep. But if Prentice had actually just donated that money to the poor or dispersed it or done anything like that, obviously the movie wouldn't happen, but...
But I mean, that's something about the movie. The movie, in all that it does, and so we're talking about raising Monsignor Wicks up and all this sort of thing, and, a GOP candidate, which I learnt the other day is Good Old Party.
I thought it was Grand Old Party, but I could be wrong.
Oh, no, it's Grand Old Party.
They suck either way.
Didn't know that. But it doesn't say Catholicism is bad. It says Catholicism, the way Monsignor Wicks does it, is bad. And then it goes at lengths to show the goods and virtues that it has. So you have Judd, the whole reason he stole the flask was because Monsignor Wicks being sober meant so much to Samson.
Yes.
That's the whole reason he does that. And then so he's shown to be in such a rush while he's calling up to see, how, who ordered the opening of the tomb early. But he tends to his flock. And he provides that woman support.
Yes.
And we can see that it has a positive effect because she's like, oh, I managed to, do the call and I'm getting back to you.
And it also works both ways because it's not that, in especially Judd's version of religion and Catholicism, that is what you're supposed to be doing, but also just works as a person who's taking the time to show compassion and empathy and help another person, even though it's not convenient for them at the time. And which is a good thing, even if it's because of faith or if it's independent of faith, it doesn't matter. But just really showing that Judd is walking the walk.
And, so you have turning points throughout the movie, is that if Prentice had treated his daughter with a bit of compassion, if he had actually donated, because, for the daughter not to get the money, you could, get a gem and effectively commits suicide by swallowing it in front of a child. Or you could donate that to the poor because, I don't know, $80 million does a lot to help people. But, and I believe that was $80 million at the time of swallowing the gem. So I don't know what that would be worth now. Someone else can do the math today.
Funny given how many inflation jokes I've put in end cards.
But, so, if Prentice had made a different choice, it would have had a vastly different outcome. His daughter wouldn't have passed away. Jefferson probably wouldn't have been the way that he is. And then, I don't know, what's the death toll? 3? Samson, Monsignor Wicks, and Nat.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 people wouldn't have died. But then again, Monsignor Wicks could just not.
Who raised Monsignor Wicks? Because, Prentice was dead and he dies a bit after him.
The church.
Sorry, Grace. There's previous shows and things that explore faith in a much less in-depth way or give it much less credit. But in previous movies and TV shows, examples not coming to mind, I do enjoy the splitting of faith as a concept versus faith as an institution. Because there's other shows where a character can believe, they can be a religious figure, but that doesn't mean they have to agree with the institution of the Catholic Church or their decisions, actions, and all that, which is another interesting axis to take it down. when, in the mythical world where we both get more time to do things and you get around to like the third Dresden Files novel, you'll meet every atheist's favourite religious person.
Joke's on you. I haven't even got to the second.
Big mood.
But, I mean, it's just those conversations that Rian Johnson is having amongst his movies. That not only is he putting on a stellar mystery, he's also...
exploring social concepts.
Yep.
And things about people.
Yep.
Wild. Why can't every movie be this good?
Yeah. Because it's, first one, hard work will pay dividends. Acting truly will pay dividends. The second is that in numbers you can do great good or bad. And the, sequences of that film is you can do great bad in numbers or good.
Yes.
And in the third one, it's that, faith and compassion can mean something.
Yes, and going through something terrible yourself, part of processing that can be using that as a starting off point to help others, and in doing so help yourself.
But so you've got that running alongside an incredible fair play mystery. And I don't know, I hope to guess more of the fourth one. I'll read some more Agatha Christie's between now and then.
Yeah, I really need to read more Agatha Christie.
Oh yeah, no, I will be buying you the ebook of And Then There Were None.
Harper's Island Literature Edition.
Cannot confirm nor deny.
I was the only person who watched that show.
Spoilers. I don't know. I think at least 3 other people did.
Do you have any other big talking points you want to jump through?
No, I don't think so. Neat movie. You can see my notes where I frantically write some guesses down to be like, I want to get it right, and then I'll get credit. At one point I was like, oh my God, why would a man just have, a acid bath set up in his basement if he hadn't already killed his family?
Right.
And I had also lost a little bit of sense of what point we were in that movie. And I was like, nah, he just set it up to, melt wicks,
Yeah. And I think that's okay because by that point in the movie, I was definitely along for the ride. I love mystery is my favorite genre, and even though it's a super genre really. But the thing I'll always say is if I'm sitting there trying to figure out your mystery and I'm watching it, that's a bad thing because it means I'm not really emotionally invested in the characters and the story, or you've put on a boring scene.
And yet,
like in Glass Onion, when she gets shot, I wasn't thinking, well, that stifles my theory of this. I was like, oh no, I liked her. I want her to not be shot. Not being shot is the preference for her.
I contain multitudes, which basically means I'm very much in the flow of this, but I'm also trying to win.
Very fair and understandable, because the other contrast is with Superman, because when the opening crawl starts up and you get that 5 paras of backstory, I'm like, yep, great choice, James. Yep, get us straight into the world. People hate exposition, but it's necessary sometimes, and this is the minimum way to get us straight up to speed on what's going on here. Then Superman lost a fight. Yep, okay, instantly we're sympathizing with him because he's coming back from a loss, building back up, gets us into the world, and then when they break out of space jail and he has a Jackie Chan whole thing, when Metamorpho, who I swear to God was called Mr. Element, when Metamorpho makes the sun and he breaks out a thing, I wasn't thinking, yes, perfect time for an action scene, let's do this. I was like, oh, you guys are screwed now, Superman's going to get them. And yeah, along for the ride.
I know. Putting a dog in danger will evoke certain emotions from people. Very quick tangent on this.
The documentary John Wick.
The start of that, I think takes a lot, and a lot of superhero movies have, since this came out, taken a lot from Spider-Man Homecoming. Because we're all like, oh my God, we're getting another Spider-Man. We can't bear to take the story. Yeah. Of course, many a year later, John Watts would play the Uno reverse on us and kill Aunt May. However, I think Homecoming doing what it did with the Spider-Man story, which we've seen so many times.
Yeah.
We have also seen the Superman story a lot of times. So by having that very quick exposition, being like, yep, you guys, you know as much as I do.
No one needs to see Batman's origin story again.
No. All right, so what do you got?
I've got 2 very brief things. So we're getting towards the spiky end of the year 2025. And I pulled up my Letterboxd, which I'm not promoting. I won't link it in the comments. I just need to write things down, otherwise I'll forget I'll do them.
He gets $5 every time someone downloads Letterboxd.
Yeah, but they're Kiwi dollars, so they're only worth like $4.50 here.
That's just accurate. Not even a sick burn.
Letterboxd is a Kiwi company. Good on them. I like New Zealand.
Wow. In just one sentence, you really endeared Letterboxd to me.
They also, literally today, dating when we're recording this, announced that they're opening a rental service, which is a really interesting angle for them. And if they're using it to like get hard to see things or things that are out of print in front of more people, that's good.
No, I think genuinely I would rather pay a couple dollars to see, a 10-year-old movie than buy a Netflix subscription for the month.
I have a 4K Blu-ray UHD player because physical media is a good thing and subscriptions are bad.
I made an actual factual short complaining about how upset I was that they have unceremoniously taken casting away.
And now they're going to buy Warner Brothers. That's a whole other kettle of fish. So quickly just going to go through some of the movies of 2025 and just see where we're at. So we both saw Captain America: Brave New World, a movie.
That was this year?
Yeah, that was February. That movie was better than it should have been because it should have been god-awful, but they managed to salvage, not a good movie certainly, but a movie out of it.
I'm still reeling that was February.
So would you say Wake Up Dead Man, A Knives Out Mystery, a Benoit Blanc show is better than Brave New World?
Thank you for even asking that question. Next.
In March, I went to a birthday party which was not very good and was very sad, but then they put on George of the Jungle and I forgot how much that movie slaps, except everyone else was quoting it about 5 seconds before it happened on screen.
Okay, so two things here. George of the Jungle performed incredibly well in terms of a video for us, and I get it confused a lot with Tarzan, which I watched the other night, and it turns out that George of the Jungle is a parody of Tarzan.
That makes a lot of sense.
So I'm putting the things together, okay? I still need to watch Jungle Books to fully put the map together, but we're getting there, lads.
Then in May, we both saw Thunderbolts ***.
I genuinely like very much Thunderbolts, and I would be happy to rewatch it. Florence Pugh, amazing. The guy that they keep calling Bob in every movie, very good. The villain being depression, okay, yeah, that's real. That's 2025.
I was really worried when I heard that a major movie studio movie was going to tackle mental health is the bad guy, and then Marvel, I'm like, oh, they've had a real spotty track record of late. But yeah, this movie slaps.
I love what they did with Thunderbolts ***. The only thing in my book is that they revealed their hand way too soon.
Yeah.
Like, many, many more people should have gone to the theatre and found that out the way that we found that out.
Yep. And I like how there's humour in that movie, but it never comes at the expense of what they're going through.
No.
Oh, you're Lena. You're sad, even by Eastern European standards. Is a good joke, but also just, acknowledging it. Auntie Donna released the Magical Dead Cat tour video, which has some meta aspects to it that make it absurdly hilarious. Speaking of Knives Out, Ana de Armas was in Ballerina, a John Wick spin-off.
Heard that it's very good.
It's fine. The problem with it is that they have a unique setup for what Ana de Armas' character is supposed to do. She's supposed to be more of a protection, an assassin, but then they forget about that so she can do a revenge.
I think we can all agree that we enjoy a revenge.
She's good in the movie. There's a lot of good action scenes. Mild spoilers for Ballerina. Do you know who should have been in the movie less? John Wick.
Isn't that man dead?
This takes place in the bits where he isn't dead. Then I watched All the President's Men, which was a good movie, but not as good as people had led me to it believe. Then in July, we had two great S movies coming out this year, Superman and Sinners.
Cool. I saw one half of that.
Yep. Sinners and Wake Up Dead Man would be competing for best movies of the year for me. Superman would probably make the top 5 off the top of my head because I really liked it, but Sinners is such a good movie. Ooh. And then in August, we and Scott both saw The Fantastic Four: First Steps.
Joseph Quinn is very good at what he does.
He really is. A movie I liked a lot less than The Fantastic Four 2005, which I rewatched a couple weeks after because I was very sick.
You liked this year's less.
Yes, I did not like this year's Fantastic Four movie very much. The production design is very good. The actors are...
Am I mad on the behalf of Vanessa Kirby?
I was on Vanessa Kirby's side way before this movie because I was one of the 10 people that watched Hobbs and Shaw. And when I saw Hobbs and Shaw, I was like, hey, this Vanessa Kirby lady's really good. She needs to be in more stuff. And then like 5 years later, she's getting that Marvel paycheck. Good on her.
All right. You may pass.
But yeah, aside from production design and the quality of the individual actors themselves, that's not a very good movie. Thursday Murder Club was also this year.
Oh, yeah, I did see that.
Which was fun, but messy.
The books. Oh, my God.
Yeah, when you explain the change, I'm like, oh, wait, that's a lot better.
Can we please do a podcast so I can just rant? We could get Dad to guest star. I foisted those books on him. He's more ahead in the series than I am.
He's more ahead of you in Dresden Files as well. He's a very voracious reader.
That man, like, he needed to pass that gene along to us so I could get things read. But what they did to Bogdan was criminal. And Christopher Columbus has since come out being like, oh, well, just because he's been arrested doesn't mean that he can't be part of the subsequent films. And I was like, nah, everyone's just come for you. And you've decided you've made a poor choice, which, Chris, I could have told you that. You should have screen tested that with me.
So what I'm hearing is they were upset that a man named Christopher Columbus did a non-white person dirty. Wouldn't be the first time.
The notes are correct.
And then you, me, Scott, and Mum went to a movie to see a little film called The Roses, which was a very bad movie.
I hated that.
And
I genuinely disliked that.
Mum wanted us to go to see the movie because she'd seen the trailer.
Yeah, and the trailer was, good. And I was like, of course, yeah, we'll go to the movies with Mum.
I can watch Olivia Colman snark. She's good in everything.
Benedict Cumberbatch, he puts in a good performance.
He's acceptable. And wow, is all of the good parts of the movie in the trailer.
It's just, and yep, these kids are training to be elite athletes so we can ship them off before we kill their parents.
Yep. And then there was a movie that is very good. You watched before I did. And then by the time I got around to watching it, you just happened to come over when I was watching it. And like, I'm just going to sit here and watch the whole movie because it slaps. I'm like, yeah, it does slap. K-pop Demon Hunters.
So I more often watch movies when Scott's away for work. And so I watched it. I think this was when he was away for 2 weeks. I watched it 1 week. I rewatched it the next.
Oh, wow.
I think I may have put it on a third time at home. Me and a friend were doing, like, we were working out. We put on the soundtrack, and then you were watching it. Like, well, I was in my trial makeup for my wedding.
Yeah.
So I'm just sitting there.
I'm really getting shown up in my own home for movies.
Yeah, I just like show up, and I'm like, this has been on for 8 hours, and it hasn't moved because my makeup artist and my hair artists were fabulous. And now I'm going to watch K-pop Demon Hunters.
What a good movie. I can't wait for them to take 5 years to make a sequel. It's going to be a real Frozen 2 situation.
Yep.
My friend Harris's Letterboxd review was Buffy the Vampire Slayer the musical, which means he hasn't seen Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Which is probably a good thing.
Because there is a Buffy the Vampire Slayer musical episode. So my addendum to his review would be, what if the Buffy the Vampire Slayer musical episode was good?
And we mean good in a holistic sense, not that everybody on that set wasn't trying. But Joss, have you tried acting to these scripts?
Well, you say that, but you're right, because there's a interview with the composer for the series, and his pull quote for that episode was, Joss doesn't really know music theory, so he doesn't know not to break all these rules. He's really creative that way, which is the most help I'm blinking SOS phrase I've ever heard.
Which honestly just tracks with everything from that set.
So, yeah, it's a toss-up between Wake Up Dead Man and Sinners for the best movie of the year, and I don't think anyone's really going to come after me for that opinion.
Well, so I'm just doing a quick perusal of the movies that I have seen. Most everything that I've seen is because someone else wanted to watch something or because I sat down to... Yeah.
It's really easy to get enthused in something when someone else is getting you halfway there.
Look, it turns out that I can churn out some TV when I need.
I started watching soccer when half the nation lost their effing minds about it.
Yeah. But so I've watched a lot of The Rookie. I have watched some Disney movies. I've watched a lot of Stranger Things recently.
That tracks.
And the hard cut between season 4 and season 5 is interesting.
I do want to do a small, short Stranger Things podcast once that wraps up because you've watched the entire series recently and I'm curious about how well it all fits together.
Look, my biggest takeaway at this point, and you can clip this for a short, the Chicago episode is not that bad.
Well, do you know why I think the Chicago episode has a bad rap? I have a funny answer and I have a real answer.
Because everyone was jonesing for season 2 and we got an extra episode to make this happen and people act like it's the only thing, like Chicago happened. No, she also spoke to her mum and different things happened and oh my God.
Well, the funny answer is because that episode has a bad reputation because there's women in it and it's on the internet and the internet's an idiot.
Women and non-threatening men.
The real answer is the episode's fine. Like, I didn't hate it when I watched it, I don't think. But there's no good place to put that pacing-wise in the season. And it's such an out of Hawkins thing.
Yeah, but so Stranger Things, apart from season 1, season 2 onwards, and even up until this season, there are so many different threads happening that things simply must be happening at the same time.
Oh, yeah. Season 4 was a mess with that because you had the California crew, you had the Hawkins crew.
But, I mean, it's not really a mess. Like, it's not, at least it's not messy. It's kind of like when you're really reading a Wheel of Time novel and you change who's narrating, you know, whose perspective you're coming from. Naturally, some of these things are just going to be happening at the same time.
True.
Get on board. And if anyone here has watched season 1 of The Witcher and didn't bitch about it, then you're going to be fine.
Hear that, internet? Be fine about it. Spoilers for season 5 of Stranger Things, the part 1 bit anyway. I was absolutely certain that Chicago lady was going to be in the military base, not Vecna, because I thought the show pitching, what if the military has Vecna locked up? And that's why we can't find him. Like, no, that's a bad assumption.
It couldn't be that.
What you've done is a bad thing.
It just physically
in a season of bad attitudes and bad decisions.
Couldn't be that. And I mean, so for me, coming off season 4,
yes,
where the shortest episode rivaled the runtime of the longest so far, that's a bit of a hard cut. It's a bit of a hard cut to see Dustin's change in personality and also his like interaction with Steve.
Yeah.
But you do have to remember that there's like 18 months in between those two things.
I don't remember that.
So
I've got one final segment for us.
Well, just to round out,
yes.
I saw some Disney movies. The only other movie that I can remember watching is Mum and I watched Green Book while I was home.
Green Book, have I heard of this?
It's like 1950s, 1960s. The guy who plays Aragorn. Help me out here.
I haven't. The one joke my D&D group has is I haven't seen those movies. But did you know he breaks his foot when he kicks the helmet?
Viggo Mortensen is like an Italian guy, and he's the Copacabana like closes down for a summer, so he needs work.
Oh, what's he gonna do?
So he accompanies African American pianist through the South. And essentially the Green Book was a real thing that existed that was like, you know, places that were hospitable to African Americans, like in that time period, because Jesus Christ, 1950s America. So, yep, that's what Mum and I watched. Just a nice light movie.
If you like that, you'll like Sinners, but Mum will hate Sinners, so don't watch it with her.
Fair enough.
Did you get to any other movies that Bear mentioned?
Nah.
Fair.
K-pop Demon Hunters was dope.
Oh, what's your favourite song from K-pop Demon Hunters?
Idol.
That's fair.
It's like, at what point do these tranced people go, oh my God, sick, they're flying?
They're just getting down with this sick beat.
But also, so they're all S tier. Like, so the one I like least is Soda Pop. And that is because it is supposed to be, quote unquote, heartless pop, except it's still a dope banger. Every
music trick and pop songwriting idea I've ever heard about is all in that song. It is lab engineered to be catchy, and they pull it off. And you're
Top
right.
40 hits, a top 40 for a reason.
My favorite
Anyway.
is Golden. And do you know what the highest note they hit in Golden is?
E5.
So, no, it's worse than that. Because E5, for people at home, is the high note in Take On Me. It's a very high note. They hit an A5. That's 5 and change notes above E5.
Now, I'm probably going to pronounce this wrong, but EJ, who is Rumi's singer, apparently the singers for the other two members of Huntrix met her on the day that she was hitting that high note.
Good God.
She just came out of the studio because she helped write the song. She's like, what's up? I just hit an A5.
Just for other very brief points of comparison, the highest note in Kelly Clarkson's, what's her big song? I should know this. It's really good.
Since you've been gone.
The high note she hits in the bridge is a G5, so 2 notes below.
The fact that you can't instantly recall that tells me you didn't really live through the Pitch Perfect era.
I am, in fact, a fake fan. And Christine's high note in Phantom the Opera is E6, which would be 7 notes above A5. But that's an opera singer at the height of their powers. I like Benoit being very dramatic and getting that shed out because he's a dramatic little guy.
Me and Benoit both.
So, sorry, one more brief anecdote. Nina and
We're gonna cut the end of this podcast and we're gonna split it into 2.
It's like Peace Talks and Battleground can't be published as one. Nina and I were talking at the wedding. I'm like, oh yeah, no, you might like this because you're into K-pop stuff. K-pop Demon Hunters, it's a really good movie. And you know what song was playing? I'm like, hang on a second. Is that Golden?
I thought you were about to tell me that Nina had already watched it because she is a woman of fabulous taste.
She is, and she's usually very up on movies. Like, she'd seen Sinners the moment it came out.
Oh my God. So I put K-pop Demon Hunters into the DJ list for our wedding because I wanted to hear it. And then it turns out the nieces and nephews were like, women of culture, and then just hit that dance floor.
Which is very funny because then I turned around and Mum was like, oh, what is this shit? But then...
Mother, no.
A couple songs after K-pop Demon Hunters...
Okay, also, but for the record, some of the crap that you and Mum put on the radio, I feel like I'm allowed to get away with K-pop Demon Hunters.
I mean,
I'm sorry, what, Paul Kelly going to make gravy or something? Okay.
Look, I'll pay my penance. I'm not complaining. I mean, I love the playlist because... You go from K-pop Demon Hunters to Kiss Jay's new single, and I'm like, man, I am here for it.
Yeah, but the DJ censored us. Scott wanted Amaranth later in the run. It was for later in the night. The DJ was like, nah, man, you're not getting Amaranth at a wedding.
That DJ was a hack, though, because he came up to me and was like, hey, so how much gain do you want on the microphone? Because you're doing all the announcing, right? I'm like, oh, yeah, well, I know what I'm doing, so don't put too much because I have the microphone properly. And then he just ignored me, set the gain way too high, so I had to have the microphone down by my belly button so it wasn't squealing. Amateur hour. So, ostensibly, we're a quiz-based channel.
Yep.
And so I've got a little quiz for you. Where does this movie take place?
Which?
Knives Out 3, Knives Out Harder.
Do you want state, borough, or town?
In ascending taxonomy, please.
Okay, so it's in the state of New York. It's upstate, and it's Chimney Rock.
Correct. So it takes place in America, the United States.
Yeah, sure. Okay, forgot that piece.
But you've got the important part. So I went through, and for the entire cast, I have determined their origin source, where they're born, based on Wikipedia, the most reliable source on the internet. So you're going to go through one by one, and how much of these people are actually playing Americans and how many are faking it.
It's 50-50, right?
Well, let's go through it. So this is just based on their birth country as listed on Wikipedia. This is not...
Daniel Craig is English.
Where they've lived most of their life. So, yes, we'll start off with Daniel Craig. Would you like to guess his nationality?
English.
Correct. He is from Chester, Cheshire, England. That's a tick friendly.
Also, so something that I found on rewatching Knives Out. So, Ransom The second that he walks in, takes one look at Benoit. Benoit has said like 5 words and goes, it's, what does he say? Kentucky Fried.
Oh, KFC Kentucky, CSI Kentucky.
CSI Kentucky, which is a hilarious joke. But also, he's either incredibly quick-witted or it helps you pin the fact that he's the one who got Benoit to come. That
New Yorker article is briefly shown on his table. So our co-lead, Reverend Judd Duplantis, as played by Josh O'Connor. Yank or... Oh, yeah, I was going to say this quiz is called Yank or Nank, as in yeah, nah, Yank or not. I
think this only works with an Australian accent.
Yeah.
Nank. Hang on. I'm so caught up in this. I believe Josh O'Connor's American?
So what is your final answer for Josh O'Connor?
Yank.
Incorrect.
Oh.
He is from Southampton, England.
Oh, God, they're all going to be bloody... They're all English!
So Glenn Close as Martha Delacroix. Very good last name.
Oh, she's going to be in the next Hunger Games, and I'm very much looking forward to that. Yank?
Correct. Greenwich, Connecticut. Blue blood. Next, we have Josh Brolin as Monsignor, which is a real rank. Jefferson Wicks.
Yank.
Correct. Santa Monica.
Yeah, because, I mean, he was in the Goonies at like 16.
Yeah. Mila Kunis as Geraldine Scott, local police chief.
Yank.
No.
What?
So now...
This So 70s has been lying to me?
Well, in fairness...
Okay.
She moved to the US when she was 7 years old, but I did state at the start that this was based on birthplace, so this quiz was fair play. Now, we're going to play another quick sub-game of where in the world was Mila Kunis born? Given that, based on her name and her, stouch American accent, because she moved to the States when she was 7, you have 0 clues for.
Thanks. Italy.
Right continent, wrong country. It's a country that does exist, but not in this form anymore. I'm
sorry, what is the answer? The Soviet Union?
Yes, but a specific part of the Soviet Union.
Please, help.
So she was born in Chernovisty, Ukrainian SSR, Soviet Union. So back in the 70s and 80s when Ukraine was a part of the Soviet Union, that's where she was born. So yeah, there was no way of getting that.
Thanks. Go on, ask me about Andrew Scott.
Jeremy Renner as Dr. Nat Sharp.
Yank.
That is correct. Modesto, California.
California? And the snowmobile got him there?
Found him at his home.
Oh, okay.
Kerry Washington as Vera Draven, Esquire, tightly wound lawyer.
Believe Yank?
She's actually from New York. Yes.
Kerry Washington I have heard a lot about, and she seems a fabulous actress. I just have not seen her in anything.
Oh, yeah, she's great in this, and she's presumably very good in very other good things.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, this up-and-coming actor, Andrew Scott, where's he from?
It's English. If you're going to give me... Sorry, hang on. He's British.
He's not British. Although, there's a small asterisk there.
What do you mean he's not British?
Born in Dublin, Ireland.
Okay, no, I'm so sorry. I haven't watched Dairy Girls recently. Is that the Republic, or is that...
I have no idea, and I know I should have double-checked this, and I just didn't.
Dublin is the capital of the independent country of the Republic of Ireland, not part of the UK or Britain.
Kaylee Spaney as Simone Vivain, a disabled former concert cellist.
I'm just going to guess Yank for everyone who I don't explicitly know.
Correct. Kaylee Spaney is born in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Yay.
Daryl McCormack as Cy Draven, Vera's adoptive son and aspiring politician.
You know what? England.
Again, I really should have double-checked this. He's from Nanok County, Tippany, Ireland.
Oh, please. Hang on. Tippany.
So is he from England or Ireland?
I don't know how to spell Tippany, so let's just call me wrong. But I was less wrong than I was about to be.
That's fair. Thomas Hayden Church as Samson Holt.
Who I keep thinking was the guy who played Anakin by name alone.
Hayden Christensen.
Yank.
Correct. He is from Woodland, California, IA. James Faulkner, who played Prentice.
English!
Correct. Hampstead, London, UK.
Faulkner just sounds like such a British name.
Well, that's how I think Australian Faulkner got named.
No, I think they're spelled differently.
Learning new things every day.
Ours is Faulkner. Theirs is
Faulkner,
Faulkner.
Jeffrey Wright, who played Langstrom, the priest at the start and the end.
Oh my god, so we're going into the minor characters now.
I was originally just going to do it for the main characters, but I'm like, there's not that many people in this movie.
You're just mad that I made you do the Hades Qrivia, and you're like, I'll show Emily. English.
So you're wrong, and also you're wrong because I wasn't doing this as revenge. If I was doing this as revenge, I would have made it much harder than a binary choice for each person. Jeffrey Wright is from Washington, D.C.
Is there a town called Carey in Washington State?
There probably is.
Cool.
Annie Hamilton, who played Grace, a.k.a. the Harlot Whore, who has no speaking lines in this movie, just silent or screaming.
I'm going to say Yank.
You are correct. Apparently she was also in Hawkeye, but Wikipedia does not list what role she played.
She reminds me of the person who's going to be playing Maisie Donna in Hunger Games.
Bridget Everett, who played Louise, a construction worker with a crisis of faith.
Yank.
Manhattan, Kansas, US.
McKenna Grace.
And we've got two more. So firstly, Noah Sagan, who played Nikolai, the Devil Bar guy.
He's been in both the other Knives Out.
He has, and correct. I was about to ask you what his roles in the other ones were. But firstly, is Noah Sagan American or not American?
Good friends with Ryan Johnson, which
also true.
Doesn't mean anything. Yank.
You are correct. His Wikipedia page just says American and nothing else. So who did he play in Knives Out 1?
So he played Trooper, I believe, Wagner.
Correct. Who did he play in Knives Out 2? He was in substantially less of the movie than Knives Out 1, I think. But had some memorable moments.
I'll have it written down somewhere, but it's like Daryl.
Correct.
Davin.
Daryl, the beach bum, I think.
Yeah, because who played Robin in the third Christopher Nolan?
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Thank you. He is the voiceover for a TV show that Marta's sister is playing.
We've got the nanny cam footage.
Yeah. He's also the Owly Dong
Dong.
in Glass Onion. I don't believe he appears.
And our final question for this quiz, who did Joseph Gordon-Levitt play in this movie? He has a very brief cameo that there's no way in hell you would pick up on.
Baseball announcer.
Correct.
I do my research.
Is Joseph Gordon-Levitt a Yank or Nank?
Yank?
He is, in fact, a Yank from Los Angeles, California, IA.
Was he in the movie Time?
He was in the movie Looper with Ryan Johnson, which I have not watched. So you got 13 out of 17 for a 76.44%. Congratulations.
I'll do better next time.
I was really thinking about selectively cherry-picking the cast. It was like 50-50 or whatever. But then I saw Mila Kunis. I'm like, well, we'll make some hay out of that.
Okay, I get it. You hate me. All right. So was Trooper Wagner in this one?
Yes. So Trooper Wagner is Noah Sagan, who played Nikolai, the Devil Bar guy.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. No, you did say that, and then I just had a stroke.
That's all right.
Because, you literally said the Devil Bar guy, and I was like, he's in the other two.
No, thank you for the lead-in on JGL.
And then forgot it 3 minutes later.
Well, dead men didn't wake up. It was all an elaborate ruse by a pious woman who thought she knew better than everyone else, and then kind of did, and then didn't. Yeah,
but it's like for anyone who earnestly thought Monsignor Wicks woke up at any point, like that showed us that dude on a coroner's table.
Yeah,
I was. They pancaked him. They flipped him.
So funny. I was certain for sure that this entire movie was just going to be Benoit Blanc trying to bully him into confessing, because there's no reason to bring him to the frickin' autopsy. And then when Mila Kunis comes down, it's like, you don't have a lawyer. Anything you say can and will be used against you. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Please say you did it.
So a random thing is that I also pick up on things in the movie that I either don't use or don't go anywhere. Mila Kunis's character, so Geraldine Scott.
Correct.
She actually had like a plaque on her.
She has a Jewish greeting?
She has a Jewish greeting on her desk. And so I thought that might be something because obviously, this is the Catholic Church.
I did see that the first time around.
So I was like, does that mean something?
Oh, the only other thing that I noticed in my second viewing, right after that scene at the start where they're at the police station, Judd walks out, kneels down, picks up a rosary, then looks into a room where Kaylee Spaney's character is talking to a cop. They close the Venetians. That moment doesn't really, mean anything.
Now, you'd mentioned that, but it's her abandoning her faith because it hasn't served her purpose.
Yeah, that makes... I think that's a fridge logic thing, though, but it does make sense.
Fridge logic?
It's a term originally coined by Alfred Hitchcock, where it's not something you'll think about in the moment, but when you go home and you're getting chicken out of the fridge, you go, hang on a second. The other corollary to fridge logic is fridge horror, where you realize something was really not right, but you only think about it later.
Yeah, I've got things like Darla moved to Tucson, fish the bend. We have induction stoves because I legitimately thought that was a made-up issue.
I knew about that issue, but I'd only heard it as the gas stoves issue, not the induction side of it.
Yeah, so Shalom Yol is what's on her desk.
Nice. Please leave your thoughts about Wake Up Dead Man in the movie below, and if you have any hyperlocal tangents or anything else, please leave in the comments below. I like reading comments when they're nice and good and fun and stuff.
And if Harley doesn't like reading them, I get to deal with them. That's not shade, it's just pragmatism.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to this show.
Thanks for coming. We'll be back at an indeterminate time in the future.
Yeah, we might do a Stranger Things episode.
Yeah.
Or we might not.
I have a really bad idea.
Ooh. Hit me.
Pop culture / movie / TV show based Reddit stories.
Okay, do we want to talk about that for a second?
Why?
So, I don't have anything against Smosh.
Mm-hmm.
I was aware of them because I watched way too much YouTube. I was on YouTube in 2007, 2008, so I heard of Smosh from the old times. But I think, look, it's obviously done numbers for them, but I don't like that they're doing Reddit stories. I think it is the laziest hack thing ever, because just regurgitating other people's content is just... And if you like Reddit stories, which I assume you do...
I was going to say, you are absolutely just trashing my weekend stories. Some people have lives of the young and restless. I get to wake up every Sunday morning because we're in Australia and watch delicious Reddit stories.
I want to be clear. I like professional wrestling. I have zero moral high ground here. I have nothing to stand on.
Well, so I will say the defensible portion, and I think as well why people like Smosh in particular. And he'll go at great lengths to distance himself from any professional qualification. But Shane does have a psychology degree. And it's gotten to the point where they vet the people who will be sitting on that couch for either relevance or insight. And so it's the discussion that happens after that is particularly interesting. There is a very infamous episode from very early in its run where there were some really, really terrible takes.
Oof.
And that is exactly, it's regurgitation and then being like, I don't know that these people particularly needed a platform for these particular opinions. But then, it's kind of like an enjoyable digestive at this point.
I mean, sure, there's a little bit of curation that happens to it now, bringing their own insights and opinions to it. Also, they're not the first people who've had this idea or done it ad infinitum, and they won't be the last. There'll be more people to rehash these stories.
So what I'm hearing is that this is a no.
Oh, no, yeah, us doing it, yeah, why not?
Okay, there's the more high ground.
I'm a hopefully non-threatening white guy. I'm in shorts. I can read this out. I can do Shane's job.
I know. Get cuffed jeans and then we'll talk.
I hate jeans. There's the other aspect of it, which is more a thing I have to deal with, is a bit of frustration because Smosh is one of the channels that are in a weird place where they are massive. They're probably doing all right, but they also have a lot of people working for them. So there's this weird inertia where they kind of need to be successful to make sure they can pay everyone.
I mean, some of the talent is freelance.
But they're also in a point where they could do more creative things, take more risks, do something more than just Reddit stories. But this is a me problem.
But this comes to a larger issue. If you can do something safe and reliable that is definitely going to pull views and make you money, and that allows you to do the rest of the week really creative things and try things, does that not make the balance work?
That is true. And I mean, I'm not a hardcore smosher, but are they doing like the
because
stuff?
You get things like Culinary Crimes, which is absolutely just crazy some days. Because they've moved on from Eat It or Yeet It, and they've spoken as a company about like leaving behind, particularly the punishment stuff that they did mostly during the Defy era.
That makes a lot of sense.
And so Eat It or Yeet It was sort of straddling that, definitely had some element of punishment because you got the bad thing. And now there's like Culinary Crimes, which has still got the cooking element, but way just more like wholesome.
Yeah.
And yeah, they've tried some things that haven't necessarily come back. They've like expanded the game stuff. They have a different podcast. So, and I mean, is it not worth doing? Yeah, you got to make your bacon somewhere.
That is true. And I'm not, I won't take a shot at them for that. You got to pay the bills. It's just a personal thing I have to figure out because if you get to if the blind chance of life gets you to the point where you have a massive channel and massive success and a massive audience, it's not that you need to use or harness them, but like if you lucked out and became successful and you don't do something with that. But again, this is clear, just these are feelings I have to figure out.
I know, but is it not enough that they employ like 50 people?
Yeah.
Like they provide what seems like a safe workplace and wholesome workplace for 50 people in #this economy.
Well, in that same vein, like, are you familiar with Linus Tech Tips at all?
I believe you made me watch one video from them.
That sounds about right.
They were going through the different videos they had put up, and I believe the money that they had brought in.
Oh, yes, we did watch that video. They're a massive conglomeration of channels. They have over 100 people working for them at this point, and it's all like tech news and related stuff. And it's a very in-joke with everyone that they've got their integration so tightly wound into their content that it's all just a self-propagating machine. And recently they started doing a bit more like actually trying to do consumer research and like test products and get a database going, which I think is actually doing some good. But until they announced that, I was getting the same sort of feelings where it's like, you're already successful. Like about 18 months, 2 years ago, Linus got an offer for the company of $100 million. And if you're at that point and then you're like launching new YouTube channels, which are just more like snappy, tech focused, light entertainment, news, whatever, like sort of what's the point? You're just making more to consume more attention in the same space. So you're not doing anything. But again, this is just things I have to work through. So, Linus Tech Tips, bit of a goober, Smosh, fun, Wake Up Dead Man, good movie, every other filmmaker, do better. Unless your name is James Gunn or who flipped Wakanda on its head. I should know this.
Ryan Coogler,
who made Sinners. And he made a deal somehow where he gets the rights to Sinners back 25 years later.
Fabulous.
Which, given that Netflix is about to possibly buy Warner Brothers and ruin everything, good choice.
Like, I know we make the joke quite often about, It flipped Wakanda on its head, but I mean, it's a fabulous filmmaking choice.
Oh, yeah.
That movie's solid. Which, directional debut, question mark?
No, I think he'd done one or two other movies. That was definitely the era where Marvel was like, hey, you've directed one or two movies that cost about $10 million total. Here's $200 million and a battalion of effects people. It's not filmmakery 101 to turn Wakanda on its head. It's just that what he's going for is not obvious, but like, yeah, it makes sense in the moment, but it's just something that people are easily going to notice. It's not like the subtle stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you remember when they're walking into the club earlier in the movie, and there's a shot of the three of them walking in, the camera's behind them. Apparently, I only found this out later watching FD Signifier's video on it. The three outfits they're wearing are set up in such a way that they're displaying the Pan-African flag, which I learned something new.
Yeah. There's a lot to pick up on.
And also the love affair of Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan continues, and I am here for it.
Yeah, agreeable.
Do you know who stars in Sinners?
Michael B. Jordan.
And Michael B. Jordan, he's playing twins.
Yeah, I heard about that. I heard about Haley Steinfeld's also here.
Oh, yeah.
And if that one Tumblr post from like when Black Panther came out, nobody's retainers are safe. There's a deep cut for you.
And on that note, thanks for staying with us, and stay tuned on the Qrivia radio network for whatever's next.
Maybe Reddit stories after that drubbing?
Yeah.
Goodbye, everybody.
Thanks for listening. Bye.